Get ready for several big changes to our weather pattern across Central Oregon during the next 24 hours and the rest of this week. We're talking about a little dip in temperatures with some showers and then a whole lot of sunshine and a big warm up. So in the next couple of minutes, we're going to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at what's been happening today, the setup that we're in, and when those changes are going to be impacting us through this week. So buckle up. It's going to be fun here through the next few minutes. Starting off, we just have some cameras across the high desert. Each one of these has a gorgeous view, and there are some light clouds out there, but there's no precipitation in sight. So let's go ahead and look at satellite and radar. When we set it into motion, what we see is through this afternoon, there have been some in and out clouds. Notice not too much in the way of green in there, so no precipitation yet. Our main system is still just offshore, and it's starting to impact parts of the Pacific Northwest. We're talking about the Puget Sound, up through Bellingham, really west of the Cascades, north of Seattle, and through the Olympic Peninsula. Now, this is going to roll in through tonight, and with that being said, we are expecting some light showers during the next 24 hours. Winds get breezy at times, and yes, it is a cold front, so it is going to be fizzling out as it makes landfall, but it will bring that dip in temperatures through the Tri-County area. So let's look at the bigger picture. This is our satellite, infrared satellite. We do have enhanced imagery here to really pull out those taller clouds, and you can see the bulk of the activity is through that area that has some showers. And our cold front is still stretched well out over the Pacific Northwest, far offshore at this point. Now, we do have a little bit of a ridge of high pressure still in Central Oregon, but when we go ahead and take a closer look, one of the reasons why I have pressure on here, these isobars, these are equal lines, or constant lines of pressure, I should say. And so what we're looking at here is when they're stacked up tightly like this, we call that a steep gradient. And that's where stronger winds are. And some of those stronger winds start to impact us through the day tomorrow. But outside of this system, when we look further out over the Pacific Northwest, or Pacific Ocean, there is another low over the Aleutian Islands. Right about here where you can see my cursor. And there is a weak wave of moisture that's over the Gulf of Alaska and northern Pacific Ocean. That's really not going to be impacting us too much because a broad ridge of high pressure further to the south is going to build into the Pacific Northwest. So when we look at this high right here with that clockwise rotation, that high pressure is going to build into our region on the backside of this system. So what does that mean for us? That means a whole lot of sunshine is expected. Drier conditions are in the forecast. Wind's still getting a little breezy at times, but a big warming trend is on the way. So just looking in the last 24 hours across the Tri-County area, temperatures mostly in the 60s with some 70s. We still have some 70s on the map, and when we just focus on the temperatures that we're seeing here this evening at 5:19, still a little above average for this time of the year. We still have 70 in Bend, 70 in Redmond, 73 degrees in Warm Springs. Now by tomorrow, we're dipping back down to near closer to seasonal range across Central Oregon, lower to mid 60s, even some 50s possible. That's also coming with some showers to the Tri-County area. So really in the last 24 hours, our temperatures have bumped up between 1 and 11 degrees warmer than it was on Sunday at this time. And that warming trend is going to resume, but first we get some showers. So we're going to take a look at a forecast model that's just focusing on temperature differential. And I put in a couple weather words so you can see what to expect outside of the temperature changes. But even through the day tomorrow, a cooler air mass descends over the Pacific Northwest on the backside of our cold front. Remember, the cold front is the leading edge of that cooler air mass. So it is pushing through. A lot of the moisture is going to get dried out of this system, sucked out of this system and absorbed by the Cascades. But we're still expecting some AM showers. Winds are going to pick up. And through the PM hours, we start to get some clearing. And then that warmer air mass further to our south, close to where that high pressure is, that just builds into the Pacific Northwest. That high elongates and just stretches right along the coastline and further to the west. And by Wednesday, our next warming trend is already beginning. Highs back into the 60s and 70s. And then we warm up even more. on Thursday. Under that broad ridge of high pressure, temperatures are going to be topping out in the mid to upper 70s, lower to mid 80s. It is going to be very nice and unseasonably warm. And I'm looking off to some notes off to the side, some parts of the high desert could be flirting with some record high temperatures. Today alone, that record high is 88 in Redmond and 77 degrees in Bend. And so there could be some near record highs, but not going to be for the entire Tri-County area. And either way, it's just going to be a gorgeous and warmer Thursday before this next cold front that's off the Pacific Ocean at that point rolls through. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about when we get to the extended forecast model, the GFS. When I pull that one up, you'll really see what I'm talking about. But just to lay it out on the graphic for you, we do get a dip in temperatures tomorrow. We start a warming trend. It peaks on Thursday. Now Friday, we're still well above average, still well into the mid to upper 70s. Increasing clouds are expected. Afternoon showers and evening showers are in the forecast, and there's a potential of some lightning. Some thunderstorms are going to be possible before a huge drop in temperatures. So we're going to go to another forecast model. This is the typical one that I use on air every night, and it just shows clouds, pressure, or actually it doesn't show pressure, it shows streamlines, and it shows the wind speeds based off of those streamlines, and it also shows where we have some of those features. So we can see that ridge of high pressure. If you look just just on top of the PM for the timestamp, just on top of that, you can see our high pressure. That's what's building into the ridge. It's actually going to combine with this high pressure that's on the backside of our incoming cold front. That's why it just looks like it's elongating. And that cold front is going to fizzle out as it makes landfall, but it's also going to bring us some showers. Let's look at it. Through tonight alone, we get increasing clouds. Some AM sprinkles are possible. Through the rest of our AM after sunrise, we are expecting some hit and miss showers. Notice not everybody gets wet. Some of us just get a few sprinkles, and then that cold front rolls out of here. Once it clears the area through the rest of Tuesday afternoon, some thunderstorms are going to be possible for south central Oregon and the eastern third of our state. But it's going to be after it passes through our Tri-County area that we see that chance. And then going forward past that, we're looking at tons of sunshine Wednesday. This is where the warming trend begins. We have even more sunshine and warming on Thursday, but then Friday we start to see that shift in our weather pattern. That's when this cold front starts to approach the high desert, and that cold front is going to bring another set of changes to central Oregon. So not only am I going to show you the GFS model, the extended model, I'm going to go into the graphics so we can go back and forth. We can rock it back and forth. So here through Thursday night going into Friday, still mostly clear. By Friday morning, we're looking at sunshine across the high desert. Then by the afternoon, we start to see some convection through parts of central Oregon. Let's get a little bit closer. With this afternoon convection, depending on how warm it gets, remember we're looking at mid to upper 70s, maybe a few low 80s still on Friday, but that's going to prompt the potential for some thunderstorm activity during the evening hours. And I'm going back and forth here with that clock. And so it looks like at this point, most of the thunderstorm potential is going to be around and after sunset on Friday, but all this could change. Remember, Friday's still pretty far out when it comes to the 7-day planner. But this is going to be our next front, our next bigger system that rolls through. Let me back it up to 4 p.m. That's when we start to see some showers develop through the Cascades. After that, there's a potential of some passing thunderstorms, as well as even more rain that continues through Saturday. And at this point, it looks like it's just going to be off and on showers. Saturday, partly cloudy, some showers expected, but that's also when our dip in temperatures is in the forecast, and it's going to be much cooler for the weekend. By Sunday, get that clearing, and then our next warming trend begins as we wrap up the weekend and go into next week. So that's a look at some of those big changes that we were talking about. It all revolves around two fronts and a ridge of high pressure. So roller coaster temperatures are expected between now and Wednesday at 11 p.m. We're just looking at some showers through the Pacific Northwest. Getting closer, it's going to be hit and miss for the Tri-County area. Some of us do not even get wet. Others just get some sprinkles through tomorrow morning. And then by Wednesday, we're really drying out. We stay dry through Thursday. Meanwhile, winds today have been a little on the breezy side. Actual wind speeds are between 9 and 15 miles per hour across the Tri-County area. Add in those gusts, and some of those gusts are 15 to 25 miles per hour, still coming out of the north. So when we're focusing just on winds, instead of looking at the whole map, we're just going to look at one location, and this is between Bend and Redmond is where this is taken from. So the last several hours, we've had just a light breeze, or through most of the day we've had a light breeze. Remember, everything to the left of this white line is observed, everything to the right is forecast. The last couple of hours, wind speeds have been picking up starting in the afternoon, and it's just been breezy for many of us across the high desert. But going forward, we see tapering winds through the evening, really just a gentle breeze after the sun sets. By tomorrow, it's going to get breezy at times. That's correlating with after the timing of our cold front. Once we start to get clearing, some of the breezy conditions are expected, and by Wednesday, just a light breeze in the forecast. So for tonight, those temperatures are going to be bottoming out in the 40s and 30s, so not as cold as it has been getting. A few AM sprinkles are expected. After sunrise, scattered showers push through the high desert. We get PM clearing, and our temperatures are going to be topping out in the lower to mid 60s for most, with a few 50s on the map. Warm Springs still getting into the mid to upper 60s. So Tuesday's our dip in temperatures. By Wednesday, under that sunshine, maybe a few afternoon clouds, still just a light breeze expected, and temperatures start to warm up. This warming trend is going to be dramatic, but short-lived, because Friday is when that next system rolls in. This is when we're looking at scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and a bigger drop in temperatures for the weekend. So Saturday, not going to be a total washout. We're still looking at some showers and also periods of clearing. Stronger winds are expected. Temperatures are bottoming out well below that average high of 64 degrees. So we're talking 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. By Sunday, the warming trend begins, and under more sunshine this time next week, we're going to be back to where we were today. Mid to upper 60s, some low 70s expected. So that is really the latest in weather. Just looking at a few other things, we definitely need the rain, because in the last 30 days we've had below average precipitation. In some places we've just gotten like 0% of what we should be getting in the last 30 days. But overall, looking at the last 365 days, we're still pretty close to. We have some places that are a little above average, some places that are a little below average, and the latest drought monitor, which came out last Thursday, shows that we're still clear from the drought. So, just a recap for everybody. Here are your weather headlines for this Monday, April 28th. Some showers are expected Tuesday. There's going to be a little bit of a dip in temperatures, but PM clearing is expected, and winds are going to get breezy for most of us. But then, after this week front rolls through on Tuesday and we get that clearing during the afternoon, we're looking at tons of sunshine and a big warming trend, which will be interrupted late this week. That's the latest in weather. If you have any questions or any comments, drop them in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to get through them here through the rest of this evening. But for the most part, we're looking at a big warm-up, just some showers in the next 24 hours. Again, that's the latest in weather. Join us tonight at 6 o'clock on CBS, and then again at 7 on CBS. We're being preempted because of something that's happening on ABC, but we'll be on ABC and CBS at 11 o'clock for everybody. So join us. We'll see you then.